stand by for the start. And they're off. And the Boyle Sports, home of early payout Rockfel Stakes, a Group 2 level over 7 furlongs. Well into stride was Ice Sovereigns, together with Samra Green and Sukanya. These are the leading trio. Racing isolated towards the stand side is Xanthos. They're more back towards the centre. We see the Prettiest Star. Mandarin Spirit is towards her outside with that yellow cap. Nandita in maroon silks is with those two. Moon Target's behind runners, and then Awaken. And also racing more towards the stand side is Touleen. As out in front it's Xanthos who will lead, racing towards halfway. Xanthos by probably about 3 lengths now to Sakanya, and then Samra Green. Touleen making ground towards the near side in those royal blue and white silks. Then Sakanya a little bit wider now with Mandarin Spirit, the yellow cap, the Prettiest Star, then Samra Green. Moon Target ridden for more. Likewise Ice Sovereigns. Nandita far side and runaway there towards the outside of the field is Awaken, but it's still Xanthos who leads the charge inside the final furlong and a half. Touleen is just wandering out towards the centre of the track a bit. The Prettiest Star is running on. Awaken is also staying on. Inside the final furlong, it's Xanthos and Oisin Murphy by about 2.5 lengths. The Prettiest Star is chasing hard. Moon Target's running on when it's all over, but it's Xanthos who's still leading up to the line, and Xanthos has won the Rockfel. Xanthos from the Closian, the Prettiest Star in second. Moon Target third, Awaken fourth, and Touleen was back in fifth.
Well, those fine margins have certainly turned around the form, and we're talking about inexperienced fillies who'd met each other only once. On that day at Leicester, Touleen had beaten Xanthos, but Xanthos was too keen, and today is very, very different. Xanthos has won. Oisin Murphy bringing her to the standside rail as Martin Dixon, our analyst today, suggested that he might, replicating the way in which she was ridden at the July course, and she has pretty much made all to win here for the Crisfords. In second, that is the Prettiest Star, who has stepped up. Ed Walker was right to trust her at this level, Group 2, and she's finished second for Kieran Schumacher. Again, Sir Mark Prescott right to put the cheek pieces on. Moon Target has grabbed valuable black type again, third here in a Group 2 with Luke Morris on board. Fourth Awaken, and only fifth Touleen. We can take it from the start in the Rockfel and see that crucial decision, potentially crucial decision, that Oisin Murphy made.
Well, I think the crucial element to it was that he had his mind made up what he wanted to do beforehand, and I can see why. As I was saying beforehand, I thought that he might want to do that just because it was a replication of her debut essentially, and he's made a beeline straight for the stalls. He's allowed her to jump and use herself without trying to anchor her in any way, and I think that's been very important to get her to relax. So it's not like Oisin is revving her up to go there, but he's just allowing her to do it without any restraint, and she's doing it naturally with that speed that she's got, and she has got a lot of speed. I would question whether she's going to be a strong enough stayer for a Guineas immediately.
We discussed that earlier today, didn't we?
Yeah, and my gut reaction to seeing this performance and what we've seen of her previously is that I'm not sure she will be a strong enough stayer for that, but she's got a lot of pace, she's got a lot of enthusiasm, and she takes horses off the bridle fairly comfortably through that middle part of the race.
And interesting that William Buick belatedly switched Touleen to track her, but Touleen just won't keep straight. She wants to hang persistently right.
Well, this is very different for Touleen than what she's done before, because actually the race has opened up further out. She's been asked to come off the bridle to make up her ground, and the Leicester tempo of race, she found that very easy for herself. She relaxed well, but she was able to relax and then quicken, and she wasn't asked for her effort as far out. When she's been asked sooner in a race, it was a disappointing response, in truth. She started to hang. Maybe the track didn't suit her, I don't know, but she started to hang when she was under stronger pressure.
Instead, the impressive winner was Xanthos within second, the Prettiest Star stepping right up on her debut and knotting her gap back to the third, who was Moon Target. More replays, more analysis over on Extra if you want it.
Yeah, and a drifter was Xanthos in the end. Lydia, 15-2, she returned. Oisin Murphy, Simon and Ed Crisford, and she's shown what she can do today, hasn't she? Cost €1 million as a 2-year-old and is starting to repay some of that. Second was the Prettiest Star, 12-1, and third was Moon Target at 5-1. Good winner of the Rockfel was Xanthos, and she did it in a time of 1:24.19, 0.89 seconds above standard. That's the quickest time on the card so far from the 3 races that we have had.
ZANTHOS, the Rockfel winner, Group 2, is trained by Simon Crisford and his son Ed, ridden by Oisin Murphy. Congratulations. Were you keen that Oisin went back to the tactics that he'd executed at the July course?
Yes, I mean, I think that when she ran at Leicester, the pace was so slow and she was throwing her head around a bit and she was a little bit keen, and it was a 2 furlong sprint, so we knew tactically that that was not the way to ride her, really. And so we just said, look, let's give her a positive ride today. Even having said that, I was a bit surprised to see him so far clear on that stands rail, but you know, he kept enough petrol up his sleeve for the finish, so that was great.
And whose idea was it to utilise the rail, yours or Oisin?
No, that would have been Oisin, because we were drawn 10 on the wing there, so you know, often if you've got the rail to help you and you're in front, it's a big advantage, so I think that did help.
And she was, as you say, there was one point where you looked at the race and you thought, my goodness, she really is dominating this. What were your thoughts then?
Well, I was just slightly concerned that maybe we were just putting in some pretty punchy fractions and whether or not she would have enough petrol for the finish. But she's always been a very long striding filly with a nice turn of foot. And so, yeah, there were a couple of anxious seconds, but actually at the 2-pole you could see it was going to take a very strong and robust filly to mow her down.
So what are you thinking about her? She's got entries in the Fillies Mile and of course the Irish Guineas, because they require you to enter that early. Do you think she'll get a mile, but she'll be fully effective at the trip?
Well, I don't know. On that evidence that we just saw there, the answer's probably no. But I think what we'll do is, obviously we've got to talk to her owners first, but I imagine she won't have another race this season. She'll come back in a trial, either the Nell Gwyn or the Fred Darling, and then we'll decide whether to go up a furlong or down a furlong on that basis. Yes, okay. I think that's probably the most sensible plan.
So you're in your mind, she could be heading in a Commonwealth Cup direction. Ultimately, she could be going in the classic filly direction.
Yes, 100%. But it depends how she does over the winter and you know how she races next season.
And what, in your estimation, how good do you feel that she is? She won this race a couple of years ago with Carlos Way, didn't you?
Yeah, I think she's very, very good. She's very good, and she's always looked quality. And you know, we were pretty despondent when she got beaten at Leicester. But I think the filly that beat her that day is very nice. I know she didn't sort of run so well today, but I think they're a very good bunch of fillies, and I would rate her very highly.
Okay. Nosy question about the rest of yours and Ed's string. Is she a standout filly in the string?
Amongst the 2-year-olds, yes. Yes, she would be. She'd be the best, obviously, that we've got at the moment, but maybe something else will pop up. I don't know. I hope so.
Always travelling home.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking ahead to tomorrow, you've got Treble T, haven't you? The Doncaster winner in the Cambridgeshire.
I mean, obviously, he's going to need a career best to be winning. I think if you take his form at face value, he's got every chance. I think the trip will be fine for him. I'd prefer to see a little bit of rain. That's not going to happen, but I think the ground will be fine for him. He just lacks a little bit of match practice in a pretty demanding contest like the Cambridgeshire. But having said that, I think he's deservedly one of the favourites, if not the favourite. And whatever he does tomorrow, he'll still be a really nice horse next year. But he's coming into the race as good as he could possibly be.
Okay, Simon, that is really helpful. Best of luck tomorrow and congratulations here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.